I am going to start sharing my screen. I'm going to start with the product roadmap. One moment, let me just get that set up. Sorry, having technical issues here. Okay. Can everyone see my screen, the product roadmap?
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, so we have completed a couple of things over here. You can see that are purple and 100% complete. The fair drop, second round of Fox farming in mobile, the contract, and on ShapeShift or fox.shapeshift.com. So we got all of those done. So that's exciting. I'm going to probably move those down to the bottom of this so that once we've reviewed with the community that things have been completed, that people can see like what's in progress and what's happening. But I want to allow people to still see what we have been able to complete. The other piece of this is we have send, receive, Eth. This I have marked as 80% because it is in the V2 version and that is not yet out to users. So things that have been completed in the V2 version but aren't yet launched, I will just leave it 80% until we get that launched. Gem Mobile, this one, Beard did some amazing quick work, and we are doing some testing, but that is very close to being completed so that users can use it. He also demoed that in engineering demos on Wednesday. I guess that was yesterday. Add MetaMask to HD Wallet. I actually think this one has been started, but I'm confirming with engineering to see how far along the progress has been. This was originally assigned as a bounty, but the bounty engineer wasn't able to complete it, so we have a member of the core dev team working on this now. We have started on the Yearn work. The designs are pretty much done. We had a kickoff with the engineering team, and the engineering team is working on some of the implementation pieces right now. Bitcoin blockchain unchained and chain adapters. There's still some work to be done on this, but again, this one will likely reach 80% before it is launched to users. Same with Swapper into lib. Post airdrop screens. We will be switching those out on tomorrow, Friday. And then we're still working on updating the .com, shapeshift.com website. The other pieces of this are, there's not a lot that has changed. We have this Osmo trading, staking on Osmo, LP on Cosmo Osmo. Those are all pieces that we're going to user test those. We went over those pretty in depth last time, so we're not going to go over those again until we get user test results back. I did add Osmo bonding on here because that is something that the design team will work on as well.
Also, just to add, the Keep Key Osmo support in our sync up yesterday, that's actually almost done. So that's about 75% there, he said.
Okay, cool. I'll update that shortly. And then the only other thing that I added on here is the Juno on-ramp, off-ramp. That proposal did pass on Friday. So that's exciting. So we can, hopefully we can have this as integrated shortly so that there is an on-ramp, off-ramp for users of the V2 platform. Okay, cool. And then the next piece of this is based on some of the feedback that we've gotten from different people who have done proposals or worked on proposals and whatnot, and also just, I think, some of the realizations that we have had as a product workstream and in general is essentially if there are different features that are passed outside of the product workstream, how can the product workstream or other workstreams help people get the different feature, whichever feature it is implemented, if it is a product feature. So I have created this document. It's a little bit in iteration right now, but I wanted to let the community know that we had been thinking about this. There is going to be something about this. It's also something that we will get posted maybe on the forum is what I'm thinking. so that people can refer back to this. It'll obviously be in Notion, but people can refer back to this so that every team can be aligned on a new feature, the timeline of it, what does that look like, and how we can support you in any way that we need. So some of just the big pieces of this are that the first step is setting up a meeting with all of the workstream leaders. So product engineering, operations support, growth and marketing, or marketing and growth, and globalization. This will just help align each of the workstream leaders, get a timeline set, and make sure that the different pieces know what's happening so that there's not a surprise when the feature has been completed. And then in the step 2, it's a little bit more in depth in regards to setting up a meeting with product, UX, UI, and engineering. This is, I think, the initial phases. This will be your biggest support piece and pieces that we'll want to work through the initial phases with it. Part of this is that we will want to go over the UX, UI, and our brand guidelines and how this feature could work with that, or discuss ideas around that. And then the finalized reviews will be signed off on by UX, UI. So before engineering begins to work on it, that is one big key piece here. The other piece of this is that we want each new feature to have usability tests. We have learned a ton from different usability tests in regards to what helps users, where users get confused, and how can we improve upon the experience before having to redo things in engineering. So there's that piece as well. If anyone does need help with usability tests, that is something that our team can help with as well. Diggy, do you want to add anything to that piece?
No, not everything necessarily needs usability. It would depend on the project and if it's like a big feature. But even if it's something small like a mock-up, sometimes getting impressions from users can help. So yeah, I think we would just kind of determine that in the kickoff meeting, whether the project would need usability or not.
Yep. And then the last piece of this is when handing it over to engineering or working with engineering, setting up a meeting with an engineering point person so that if there's any questions in regards to like where different pieces should be implemented, that you have someone that you can go to answer those questions. And then the last piece of this is what to do to prepare for launch. And there will be coordination with marketing and growth and support. But the big piece of this is setting up a go, no-go for it, which each workstream should be a part of, and ops will help coordinate that piece of it. I'm just going to double check stage chat. Okay, didn't see any questions there. But does anyone have any questions or thoughts or feedback about this currently as it sits? I'll wait to see if any hands are raised, and I'll keep an eye on stage chat. Okay. So let's see. Next up, I am going to pass it over to Diggy. So let me stop sharing my screen. And Diggy's going to go over who are our users. I'll let you take it away, Diggy.
Thanks. So some of you may have seen this. I just wanted to touch on it again because we discovered that some people haven't seen it. So I'm just going to share. Can you guys see my screen? Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So recently, a couple months ago, we did some user interviews, and I'll follow up with this, that we also recently asked for people to sign up for usability. And in that, in the user interviews and actually in the results from people who signed up for usability testing, actually they aligned with the type of user that uses our platform. Essentially, most of the people that are using our platform consider themselves beginners of DeFi or intermediate users of DeFi. There are a couple people that consider themselves advanced, but the majority of our users sit kind of in that intermediate spot on our platform, at least from what they've told us. So recently we did user interviews. Our goal was to understand what their goals are as crypto users, and then how they feel about some of these potential DeFi opportunities on ShapeShift, like providing liquidity, staking, and other ways to earn interest. And one of actually we learned quite a few things, but a lot of our users use MetaMask. And this also in the usability sign up form that I had, that same information was reiterated. A lot of our users are already using MetaMask. They want staking and they want more coin support. There are staking elsewhere. And so once we get more staking opportunities on ShapeShift, we have a big opportunity there to retain those users on our platform and get them to stake with us. And then this was just some specifics around ideas they had. We showed the new earn screen, or at least the first round of the earn section that we have on the platform, and we got some feedback from them. Overall, they really liked it, and they just had some very specifics around what they wanted. And as we're doing usability now too, we're getting some more information from our users around the flows for earning. And we've been actually doing usability. And thank you to a couple of people in the audience who have participated. We are doing usability now on Yearn, the Yearn integration, and some of that feedback we've been getting kind of ties over to the feedback we got on our first round when we did these user interviews. So overall, I just wanted to say, like, what did we learn? And again, this has just kind of been reiterated with the new usability testing that we're doing. But our users are excited about these new earn features, but they have a lot of questions and a lot of wants. Some people need more hand holding than others. It just depends on how experienced they are with DeFi. So we want to make sure that somebody who's a newbie to DeFi can find the information they need and get the information that they're looking for in the experience. But somebody that's more advanced can just quickly move through it and not feel like they're bogged down with anything additional. And then our users, like I said, are staking elsewhere for now, but we're hoping to change that. And they use MetaMask, so let's get more wallet supported. A lot of our users are hodlers, but they have portions of their portfolios that they trade. Many of them don't trade, though, with ShapeShift due to high gas fees and no additional features like limit orders. Something we all know, gas fees suck, and it's something that we're looking at going forward and potentially finding some new options. And this was just a bonus insight we had back then. They didn't really know what Fox was for. We've already taken steps to address that. Now some of those benefits are changing. So we'll do our best in the UI to keep communicating the value of Fox token as new reward programs come out. And then just our goals, again, like as the product team moving it forward, we want to continue to fix the pain points. We want to get more parity between web and mobile. We want to speed up and get new features implemented. And then we want to continue to drive the user experience forward and not settle for MVP, but settle for most minimum lovable product. And then we're really starting to hone in on who that target user is now, that newbie to DeFi, whose needs go beyond Coinbase, but Zapper is confusing. And that's really where we're trying to position ourselves with the new platform, is to be that intermediate step. And allow those people that are new to DeFi to really get what they need in order to feel comfortable using some of these new protocols, like Yearn, for example. If there are any questions, please raise your hand or type them in stage chat. That's a good question. Beer, did you see the question in stage chat? Somebody's asking if I think Fox wallet, I think maybe he means native wallet, will run on layer 2 soon. We are looking at layer 2 solutions is definitely something that we're looking at going forward, if that answers your question.
Yeah.
All right, I'm in. Chow, can you, oh wait, never mind, I found it. I couldn't find the stop share button, I found it. Cool. So the next piece we wanted to go over with you guys is the yearn flows. Beard, do you want me to share, or do you want to do it?
I can share. We're doing the user testing one.
Yeah. So we've been running usability on the new yearn flows, and as you guys know, we've been cranking quickly because Eric threw a bounty behind this, and we've been moving at lightning speed. We've been getting a lot of good feedback and making iterations based on those feedback. We have a couple more usability tests to do, but Beard can share where we're at with it. And just to remind everybody, this is the new platform. This is V2 of ShapeShift. Beard, do you want to talk to it, or do you want me to talk to it?
Yeah, I mean, I can go through the flow.
All right.
Have here. Yep.
Cool.
All right. I assume everyone can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, cool. They're all highlighted in blue for some reason. I'm not really sure why. But they're highlighted in blue. So this is the new web platform, and this is what the USDC asset would look like if you had liquidity pools and staking. We've added these two new cards to the asset details. So for the vaults, we put this into a staking and vaults card. And you can see some details about the vault itself, like the APR. And then if you decide you want to get started, you get started. And then we start walking them through the flow, give them some information about Yearn, what it is and how it works. They can go ahead and get started, or they can hit learn more and go to an onboarding flow and get even more information. So once they hit get started, then they'll be able to select how much they want to deposit into the vault. And this is very similar to how our send works on the new web platform. In addition to the percentages, you can pick 25, 50, 75, or 100% of your balance. And then we give them the average APR. And once they've inputted an amount, we can give them estimated yearly rewards. And they can hit continue. Then they'll confirm some legal stuff. And then they get to this screen, which is something we're pretty excited about trying out, and we've been testing, and so far it's worked really well. Is the stepper component. It gives you a really good view of what exactly is happening, and see if you ever get confused about where you are in the flow, you can see it easily on the left sidebar. So once you've input the amount, so 13,226 USDC, you'll confirm the amount, and we give basically the same information again, the average APR, the yearly rewards. So you can confirm that's the amount you want to deposit. Then the next step is the approvals. So we'll give them the gas fee, and then they can approve it on their wallet, whichever wallet they've connected. And you can see here that there's actually 2 approvals that'll need to be done, which is super nice.
And I'd like to, sorry, I just want to jump in and add, one of the things engineering is looking into right now, because there are 2 gas fees, we don't know what the second gas fee is. And probably there's other people in the audience who have had this experience when they go into a protocol and they approve a gas fee, and then they find out there's a second gas fee, and it potentially is much higher than the first gas fee. So we're trying to see if there's a way we can estimate that second gas fee up front, just so a user would have context of the entire gas cost for the whole transaction, and won't get surprised by it, like the fact that they approve this first one, which is probably lower, and then the second one, which could potentially be much higher. So we're looking at trying to improve that experience with the estimations.
Yep. Okay, so once they've approved both of those transactions, then the next step is to complete the deposit, which is reiterating information. In case there's any issues here, they can go back and make changes if they need to. Once they confirm, then we'll actually broadcast this transaction, deposit into the smart contract, and then it's complete. And then once you've added or deposited your USDC into the vault, you'll get YUSDC, which represents your stake in the vault, your position in the vault. And then you can hit view my position, and this takes you to the YUSDC vault asset details, and you can see the underlying assets, so how much USDC you have in that vault. And you can track the progress of, how much money you're making. Number go up. And then when you go back to USD coin or USDC, you'll see that you have the staking and vault activated here, and you can monitor your balance from this asset details. So super clean. We like it. There are still some things we want to tweak and keep testing, like the fees. Always interesting, and always interesting to find good ways to show that information so that the user understands it. That's pretty much it. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Cool. Can you go back earlier in the flow to where that like legal slide was?
That slide is still a little bit of work in progress.
We don't like that slide.
We're hoping that we can do like a by hitting continue, you agree to type of thing. If that's possible. We don't know yet.
I want to challenge maybe this slide isn't even needed.
That would be great.
Because I feel like we have a few too many redundant clicks of confirming. So scroll to the left. Here we have continue. If there needs to be some kind of TOS message, which I don't know that that's true, but if there does, it should or maybe could just be a tick box here and thus create no additional screens.
We would love that. Historically, as you know, we did have to have it as its own thing, but we, like to Beard's point, we want to do it even just to say, like, by continuing, you're agreeing to the terms.
Yeah, I think this is where we exercise our freedom.
Yeah.
And you don't have any such requirements. So what our general principle here should be to communicate important information to users, right? We should always be trying to do that. But it's up to us at our discretion how best to do that.
Cool. So what I'm hearing is I'll just like go like here and go boop.
Nice.
All right. Party.
Love it. Cool. This is looking great. I love this walkthrough UI. This is really, really awesome. I've certainly gone through that MetaMask flow where I pay gas and I think I'm doing the action and all I did was like approve something and then there's another gas fee and that just totally sucks. So both because there's costs that I don't see up front and also because I don't know where in the process I am. And sometimes I've clicked the last button. I thought it was the last and I walk off and do some other thing, come back hours later and realize I didn't even get through the flow. So this is really good about showing completion and where the user is in the journey.
Yeah, I also love this because I agree with 100% what you just said, Eric. I think the other piece of this is that we get a lot of questions or confusion from in support deals with this a fair amount. And I know that we have articles and whatnot about it, but to see it versus just reading about it, I think is very different and super helpful to the user. So I love this for that reason.
Yeah, nicely done.
Awesome.
Cool. Thanks, Eric.
Any other questions? Or if he wants to come on stage and just tell me how good I am at this. I'm just kidding.
You're really good at it.
Really good at it, Beard.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I'm good at it. All right, cool.
And again, I just wanted to. I just wanted to quickly shout out to the people that have been participating in usability. Thank you again.
Agreed. Thanks, Diggy. Beard, this might be interesting. If we're gonna go the way of getting rid of some of these terms of service, I do like that they did have all the risks hyperlinked about whether that's contract risk or rug pull risk or things like that. If we are gonna get rid of terms of service, in features like this, I think we should discuss where those risks should live then.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think we're gonna like
We
get
can
rid of it.
do
I just think what we'll do is not have a like step specifically dedicated to hitting confirm. So we
Agreed.
may still have like by like I like the by continuing and then you hyperlink the terms of service and stuff there before you even
There's
get through the flow.
On the learn more flow, there is a what are the risks
Oh, awesome. Okay, well, never mind.
Yeah.
As long as we live
piece that
somewhere.
comes up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beard, you're really good at this.
That's what my wife says.
Cool. Thank you for sharing that, Beard. Cool. Next, we have Hoff and Chow are going to go over a new thing we've been working on. Hoff has put together a POAP template that could be useful for Workstream leaders and various community members. And the goal of this is to make it easier to create POAPs that are ShapeShift branded for all of the various meetings that we have, so that people aren't relying on just one source to get POAPs created. So we're super excited about this.
Yeah. So, and Pete Coyne or Tyler, if either of you want to hop up and add something, please feel free. But we have paused on, as I mentioned at the beginning of the call, we have paused on creating and giving out POAPs for community calls, because POAP, the company, is figuring out different ways on how to limit the number of people who are just farming POAPs but not actually being an active part in a community. And so some of the requirements for that are having a POAP bot that Giantkin is working on and has been working on for a bit. So that's really exciting. And then the other piece is getting our previous artwork changed and updated so that each art piece is unique and that our ones going forward are unique as well. And then the other piece of this is that the bot will limit the number of codes that we need to request from POAP so that farmers don't take them all. So part of this was creating these templates so that people could go in and create the artwork and we could update the previous artwork. So with that, I will pass it off to Hoff. And if anyone has any questions, we can talk about that at the end of this.
Cool. Yeah, we just kind of did earlier today with a couple of the other work streams a tutorial on this. I probably won't do a full tutorial, right, Chow and Diggy, but we'll just kind of do an overarching kind of higher level view on this template for you guys. So I'm gonna
That sounds good.
Okay. Share my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to post a link. So we created this template in Figma, which is kind of an open source or open use design software. So I posted a link in the stage chat, so everyone with a web browser can have access to this template. You need to have an account to actually edit, but you can't view from this link. And if accounts are free, but you do have to provide an email. But I'll just go over this pretty quickly. So this whole panel on the left side, all these pages are individual templates that I created that people have access to. This first one is just a blank template. It shows all the design parameters that the POAP company, gave us. So someone could go in here and create something from scratch. You got some basic design tools up here. Type, you can add shapes and whatnot. And basically no design. Don't have anything that's significant information for the user. It exists in this red part. Bleed area, you can kind of have colors and borders kind of go in this area, but it might get cut off, so probably no significant information. And the safe area, that's where you can put all types and stuff. So I went ahead and created a bunch of series that are editable, so the user can go on and edit type, edit dates, and whatever. And when it's done, there's this export function here. And you can export any of these file formats directly to your desktop. You can do 2x or 4x or whatever you want on there. All the specifications in this template are adhered to the POAP's design specs. So all that is taken care of. There's a couple different template examples here. Got some templates with some background art and everything's editable. Go in here. You can also just do simple like cut or copy paste. So like this art, you can go and just copy paste it. This area down here is basic, just layers. So you can drag that, below artwork, and you just kind of move it around. So this is correlates to the template you're on. Some other art. You can edit this stuff. You can change this to dates, whatever you want. Other P's, you can kind of overlay some images, move them around, however you see fit. Just kind of basic logo templates. Partner one, it's just adding like different work streams, just like a governance one, you can edit whatever. So the link I provided in the stage chat, you guys can do it. Figma it's free. It's great. If you do get this and you do make some edits, be sure to save as, because you could actually manipulate the template. We do have a version of the template, so if something does happen, you can change that, or if something happens, the cool thing about Figma is they do automatic backups, kind of like Time Machine on Mac. So if something really messes thing up, you can just go and back and, go to an older version and restore it. And that's pretty much it. Is there any questions or anything? Oh, that was kind of fast. Go to the stage chat. Yeah, so I see the gray machine comment. You have to duplicate it. It's view only from that link. But if gray machine, if you have a Figma account, you actually log in, you'd be able to edit that. Any other questions?
Danielle's typing something, so I was going to see what she has to say. Okay, cool.
One other thing to note, these templates are static. You can do some animations in Figma, but you probably have to be a pretty well-versed designer to do that. So if you're just a community member that doesn't have a design background, these templates are easy to edit. But if you were to want to do some cool animation, you might have to go to community to someone with a little higher design ceiling to help create that for you. And yeah, that's that. Unless there's any other questions, I think we can move on.
Thanks, Hoff. If there are no other questions, Hoff, we'd love for you to present the design you've been working on for the careers page.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, all right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So got a new career page we've been working on for ShapeShift.com. So we're just sharing it with you. This is DAO focused. I don't know, Diggy, if you want to tee up like the vision or anything for this? Or we
Well,
go
we
through this
presented
now?
it last week as well, but essentially
Yeah.
just changing careers now that we're no longer centralized to get people interested to come work for the DAO. So this page is pretty much to let people know just at a high level how it's different and then the various ways that they can contribute to the DAO. So do you want to just scroll down, huh?
Yeah. So some big art, which people like. We have this section that's how it's different from a decentralized company. Kind of getting the details from here. The format of this page is similar to the current homepage. We get into how can I participate. We have various links. We have a call out for bounties where you can view the bounties. We have a call out for work streams where you can view the active work streams. We'll call out for proposals where you can view proposals. We kind of did this little section showing benefits of working with the DAO, like you'll see at other, career hire pages, but we DAOified it. So work anywhere in the world, you can get healthcare coverage through Opulus, our partner, work anonymously, earn POAPs, get paid in crypto or fiat, and work in a distributed team of top talent around the world. And we do this little call out for partner Opulus, where you can learn more about the affordable employee benefits for a full-time DAO worker. It's a pretty, standard for what's kind of current on the .com page. Nothing too crazy, but yeah. Are there any questions or comments?
I just wanted to say that we're still trying to finalize this, and then hopefully we'll get this up in the coming week, so that we want to start putting up available Workstream opportunities on Notion. So we're actually going to link to the specific job titles over there. So this page would be kind of that top level that we would direct people to, and then from there they would be able to come in and view specific opportunities in Notion for all of the work streams.
See if there's any questions in there.
Is the idea,
Cool.
hey all, is the idea that this would show both like, full part-time roles or even like bounties up here, or like what will be on this page?
Yeah, so we have, let me get back to it. Oops. Dang it, close my window. So we have call outs to the bounties here where you can view them and the proposals. I was playing around when Notion does have a API that we could integrate, and we could show like bounties and proposals via Notion, like kind of in a kind of XLS, like a row thing that we could do too. But we're gonna maybe do that down the road.
Cool. So it'll have all. Yeah. No,
Yeah. So right now we're linking out. We'll link out to like Notion or the forum or whatever, but we do have the ability. This will be we want to get this up as soon as possible. Once this is up, John, we can build in that API to actually show the boundaries on this page.
And I assume that means like pulling from like Gitcoin or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and same for the work streams. Like if there are open roles, they could potentially show here.
Yeah. So this is just kind of first pass, just to get it up quickly as possible, so people have more information about the DAO and working with our community, and then we can actually get in there and post everything on there too. Is there any other questions?
Thanks, Hoff.
Cool.
And then the last thing we wanted to show today is we are working on a buy-sell crypto page for the .com website to replace the one that's there, because the one that's there is just very, very basic. So we have a wireframe. Hoff, did you want to pull that up, or Beard, do you want to pull that up, or do you guys want me to?
I have it up.
You have it up? All
yeah,
right.
Yeah. Sharing my screen. All right. See my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Cool. So we wanted a way to show basically all the assets that are supported by platform, mobile, web eventually. So we built this wireframe out so you can actually easily see all the different assets you can buy and sell. You can search the assets. You can change which the source currency is, which USDC, US fiat, whatever. Then you can filter by the provider. And then if you hover over the buy or the sell check mark, it'll tell you the supported payment methods and which providers they are. So it'll just be like a really easy way to quickly see if you can actually buy or sell whatever asset you're looking to sell or buy.
And hopefully soon we'll be able to add on Juno to this as well.
Any questions about this? Cool.
Thanks, Beard.
Yeah, no problem.
Cool. I think that was everything that we had on the agenda for today, and we have about 10 minutes left. Does anybody have any questions for the group while we're all here?
Are you all gonna post up like links to any of these designs or anything anywhere? Like if I wanted to review them after this call, is there any way to do that?
Yeah, we can put everything in Notion. We've been trying to actually start using Notion more and more and having that as like our go-to place for everything. So we can definitely put all of the links to everything in there if it's not already.
Yeah, there are, like, I know that the link to the Yearn design is in the Yearn product spec. So I know that is in Notion already.
Word, that would be awesome. Yeah, I'd love to just kind of go back through it a little bit on my own time. Overall, this is all looking great. Do you mind posting the link to that, Chow, in the stage chat?
To the Yearn proposal or Yearn spec?
Yeah, that
Yep.
Yearn link.
Yep, I'll post it right now.
we could post like screenshots or whatever to the ticket and the boards too as like a comment. To see the
Yeah.
in progress designs, people could go to in progress on the design board, and they could open the ticket and see a screenshot or something. It could be a good way to do it.
Yeah, the links usually are in there too. Joan, we have a like a UX and design board on Notion that has pretty much everything that's in the queue or has been completed since we started in the DAO. So I can share that link in the stage chat, and then anybody can look at that.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Thank you. That would be great.
Sure.
Also, I guess on a similar note, and I think Hoff might have just touched upon it, but could you all just kind of maybe go over like what are the next things the product workstream is going to be focusing on for like the next few weeks?
Yes. Chow, did you want to pull back up the
Roadmap.
roadmap? Yeah.
Yeah. One sec. I'm just trying to grab the Yearn links. Let me do that. Okay. Do you want me to speak to this, Diggy, or do you want to speak to it? Am I muted? No.
Just chime in.
Okay. So the next big pieces that are on, obviously supporting Yearn in any way that we need to. That's a big focus as of right now. The other pieces that are coming up is the post airdrop screens. That's smaller, but that's still a piece of it. And then any updates to .com. And then the other pieces for the V2 version are displaying all DeFi positions. And I think the other piece of this is adding the on ramp, off ramp. In the background, there are some other pieces that are going on in the background, but those are the big focuses from a product perspective.
Yeah. Oops, sorry. I am muted in the wrong place. Yeah, Yearn is the biggest piece, and then Osmo is another big piece that Beard and I are working on. And then we also need to start working on, and which is not actually represented on the roadmap, but we need to start, as Chow said, on Juno is one thing, and then the other big piece is we need to start working on mobile open source version. So we need to revisit the UX for the mobile application to be more DeFi friendly. So that's a big thing that's coming our way.
Awesome. Yeah, that's all really great stuff. So I kind of have a general question then related to this, which is, when the V2 open source ships, hopefully next month, and, we're going to get a lot more people coming in and working on these things. And, I assume that we're going to start seeing a lot more bounties get posted, either by the DAO itself or by individuals in the community, like we saw with Eric's bounty that got posted. If someone wants to work with the product workstream, either by incentivizing the product workstream or by incentivizing other designers in the space, if they want to see at least UI UX move forward on various potential features or integrations, I'm thinking things like the perp proposal, the app proposal, things like that some people might want to see either moved up in the roadmap or done simultaneously. Do you all have any suggestions or thoughts on what's the best way to do that? Would you like people to come talk with the product work stream preferably before they do that? I mean, I know there's no requirement, or would you prefer people just post up bounties and see what happens? Would you prefer to see the product work stream itself incentivized on some of those things, or would you rather bring in external people? I'm just curious on some of your thoughts, because I think bounties are going to start accelerating.
I think it definitely on a case-by-case basis, but I think a lot of the stuff is on our roadmap, some of the things that you mentioned already. So if we want to move those up, I think it's just a matter of, coming to us and we can have a conversation around priority. And if we need to utilize external resources, we can. I know specifically, I think it was for Yat, I did see some user flows already hashed out from somebody in the community. So I think it could be either way. But I ideally would like as much as we can, at least to have the product workstream involved in some way, just so we have obviously a sense of, and to that document that Chow posted earlier, just so that we can, if there are external designers being used, just make sure that they have the brand assets they need and making sure what they do is on brand. But yeah, I think I'm in the effort of also being agile, moving things around on the roadmap should be something that we're open to, because to your point, things change a lot, especially in the DAO.
Yeah, John, you might have missed it in the beginning of the meeting, but this document is no, that's totally fine. But this document is in it's in iteration right now, but I'll make it public. I think or next week sometime. Or I don't see why it wouldn't be then. Just wanted to get a couple more comments back on it from the workstream leaders, but then hopefully this will help. I mean, this is talking about definitely after a proposal has been passed, but I still think it's a good, at least initial idea of how to loop people in or where different work streams can support different projects.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, I'm just, I guess I'm just thinking with an eye of the product work stream is doing great and you guys are certainly ahead of engineering, so I'm not overly worried about this, but I think once the open source is out, we're going to have engineering teams coming in or bounties going up for people to work on things, different teams working on different aspects. And I want to make sure things don't get slowed down. So I'm kind of thinking of I'd love to see the product work stream scale this out a bit more horizontally where we have much more that can be ready. I'd almost love if we had UI UX ready for 5 or 10 things at any given time so that engineering teams could just come pick them up and start working on them. And I'm not expecting us to get there overnight, but I'm trying to think of what's the best way to support you all to help us get there. And maybe that's just, working with you all. Maybe it's creating bounties. Maybe it's creating, a budget for the product work stream on the next renewal so that you all can bounty that out or bringing in additional resources. I'm not sure, but that's where my thought is coming from.
Yeah, I do see us potentially needing additional resources in the future. I absolutely agree, John, and I want to stay ahead as well. One of the things I just want to say is that typically, as you know, we have been ahead even in the centralized ShapeShift, but the new open source version, Beard and I have had to work through a lot of UX, and we've actually figured out a lot of it and ironed out a lot of it recently. So now that we have and we've been working through this usability, we will be able to, at least for V2, I think get a little bit more ahead, at least over the next month or so. But yeah, I agree with you. We definitely will need to consider the potential of bringing in additional resources going forward as all the engineers move into the DAO and more bounties come into play.
Awesome. Yeah, you all are doing a great job. I'm just thinking these things through. And again, those resources don't necessarily have to be like full-time resources. It could even just be, the product work stream has more of a bounty budget, kind of like what the engineering work stream got. And you all start using that to bring in, external people on a project by project basis or something.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
absolutely.
I'm just throwing out thoughts, but I'm just always thinking about ways of like how we can increase that velocity. And one of the ways I think we can increase engineering velocity in the post open source world is if there's a bunch of designs out there. And then because I think it's a lot easier for people to pick up a bounty if they can see like what they want to build. And I think people might be more hesitant otherwise. So I think that's just, I'm thinking through ways of how we can help various external engineering teams want to come contribute. But that's it.
Yeah, those are great points.
Yeah, I agree. I think the product workstream does have a little bit of a budget to do some external things, but I think that is a good, to your point, John, a good point to consider for the future one of thinking about how we want to build that out, or have a little bit of a larger one if we do need exterior design work and help and whatnot.
I'm also not against bountying Beard with large amounts of pizza and chilies.
Chili's. Yes.
Yeah, he works in chili gift cards.
You joke, but it's great food. I don't know who's like The Office was wrong. I don't know why they use it as a joke. Great place. A+. But yeah, if there's any designers that, or if anyone that knows any designers, they can come into the product public channel and come chat with us, and we can start figuring out the best way to do this, or if they have ideas or anything.
Yeah.
Always happy to hear any feedback or, collaborate on anything.
There's the office hours too. If you guys are designers, know anybody, just chiming up when we have this meeting. There's a good forum to ask, try to get involved.
Yeah. Also, if anybody knows any product managers or technical project managers, we will probably need those resources as well. Cool. Well, we're right at 12 o'clock. If there are no other questions, then I guess we can exit. Thanks everybody for joining. I think is this our second office hours or third? It was our second.
Yeah, second one, I think.
I can. Cool. Thanks all.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.